I know that I say this like all the time, but truly this year has flown by, and I think it's because every single month has been like busier, like working towards like a deadline of some sort. But genuinely, the fact that I already have half of my TBR pages filled out for the year is wild to me. I cannot believe that we are already talking about June, but I'm very excited because I wake up every single day now in a much better mood than I do like in the winter months because it's actually sunny outside and I'm enjoying myself. I have a lot of books on my June TBR that I'm really excited for. Honestly, there's still a lot on my May TBR that I will probably end up reading this month as well that I didn't like carry over, mostly because I went on quite a binge of Legacy of Gods in May, and I haven't really read much else besides that. So I pretty much ignored the rest of my TBR to do that. But I still have quite a few books that I'm really excited for in June. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right on in. First up, I have a new release that is coming out this month, and that is Shattered Hearts by Tina Spencer. So this one is the second book in a duet. I don't quite remember what the duet is called, but the first one is Shattered Obsession. I read it this month and oh my god, I can't wait to talk about it. I am obsessed with it. And it is a dark brother's best friend hockey romance. So I can't really say anything about the second one because it is following the same couple, and the first book does end on a cliffhanger. But essentially our heroine, she ends up moving to New York City because her job ends up moving her there, and she moves in with her older brother, who is a real estate, like really successful in real estate there. So he's got like lots of money. He's in a penthouse, and he basically owns this apartment building that then some of his friends also live in, who happens to be one of our hero, and he is an all-star hockey player. He's like the best one on the team. However, he does have a bit of a reputation, and his coach is kind of like, you need to be cleaning your shit up a little bit. Like, just because you're great doesn't mean that you're going to get like immunity from your actions outside of the sport. And essentially she is off limits, but what she does not know and he does know is actually they had a previous encounter one night that he has not been able to get out of his head, and he has been obsessed with her for years, but she has no clue that he likes her like that. Anyways, there's more to it. I'm really excited for the second book. The first book literally, like I said, blew my mind, and I'm very excited to see how the rest of this continues. Next up is another newer release. I don't think it's not coming out in June, it's already out, and that's Man On by Rebecca Rath. So or Wraith, I'm not 100% sure how you pronounce her last name. This one is a stepbrother soccer romance. So if you guys have been around for a little bit, Head in the Game by Rebecca Rath has been one of my favorite books that I've read so far this year. That's a coach-athlete football romance. And then, so I don't think that this one is not like following any of the same characters, but I do think that it's like kind of in the same like world as the Grovetown College, I think. I don't really know much about this except that it's step-sibling and soccer romance. Like, I don't really need to know much else, quite frankly. I loved Head in the Game so much. I loved her writing in that. I'm really excited for this one. I love step-sibling trope. You know I absolutely love that. And I do think that they hate each other, which like makes it even better. So I'm really excited for this. Then, as I said, I went on a binge of Legacy of Gods this month, and I can't, even like while I'm sitting here now, my mind is still just like drifting off to those books. I can't wait to talk about them in my wrap up. Prepare for probably like a 30-minute wrap up where I'm just going to talk about those books, because quite frankly, I want to make like a whole dedicated video to them, but I'm like, what would be the point of that? But anyways, God of War by Rina Kent, the 6th and final book in the Legacy of God series, and then like Rina Kent's universe, is coming out this month, and I will be dropping everything to read that the second it's out. So this one follows Eli and Ava, and they're all standalones in the Legacy of Gods. They're all dark college romances, and this one, you've already seen these characters in the previous 5 books, but if you do end up just picking up this one, that's okay. So I think this one is Amnesia, Hate to Love, and Marriage of Convenience. And I don't really want to say anything more because again, I don't want to like accidentally spoil anything, but I'm really excited. Eli, I'm really looking forward to his character, because from what we've seen so far, I don't necessarily think, if there's one thing about these Rina Kent heroes, is that besides Brandon, none of them are like sane even. I don't know, I'm really looking forward to it. I think he's gonna be a psycho, which I absolutely love, and yeah, I can't wait for this book. I'm already anticipating that this will be my favorite read of the month. Okay, and because like I said, I became obsessed with Legacy of Gods, I want to go back and read my favorite of that series. Has been God of Wrath, which is book 3, and the hero in that one, his name is Jeremy. And we saw a little bit of Jeremy's dad Adrian, and I need to finally like read his books. So Vow of Deception by Rina Kent. So again, I've had this book on my TBR for years because I read the first 3 books in the Royal Elite series years ago and I loved them. I just like never continued on with the series for some reason. I kind of forgot about them, fell out of Rina Kent's books altogether over the years, and then now I'm like, I need to go back and get some of the backstory of the Rina Kent, because technically Legacy of Gods is 2nd generation, so you have all of the parents, and then you also have the grandparents of some of them, but I'm gonna be specifically reading Adrian's books because let me tell you, his son, I'm obsessed with his son. So why am I not going to be obsessed with his dad? And also everyone says that like these are some of Rina Kent's best books. I'm really excited. It's a mafia book. And again, I guess I don't want to like say anything in case I'd spoil, in case you're going to read God of Wrath. Cause I mean, I kind of know then obviously I think the gist of what happens between these two, but I don't really want to say anymore. But it is a trilogy between Adrian and Leah, and it's a mafia romance. And apparently Jeremy is like, or not Jeremy, Adrian is like a little possessive, and everyone's like Jeremy is like the spitting image of his dad. So it's like, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. So I'm adding these ones to my list to read. Next up, I'm just in the mood for dark romance right now. Quite frankly, I go through phases where it's like I'm kind of like out of dark romance and I'm into dark romance. I don't know. I kind of like, it ebbs and flows. Right now, that's all I want. I don't want a sweet hero at all. I want them to be insane. I want them to be terrible. I want them to be psycho. And I want to read The Fucking Wrong Number by C.R. Jane. This is a dark hockey romance. And again, okay, I literally can't even remember the synopsis of this one. Is this a brother's best friend one maybe? I don't even know, but I think, does he maybe stalk her? I just know it's a dark one. And again, I'm still always on my hockey bullshit. That never goes away. So yeah, I want to read this. I've seen this entire series around for a long time. This and the S. Mastery hockey books, I want to read those as well. But I just was going through my Goodreads and I added this one. So, but like I said, I can't remember what it's about. It's hockey. I don't know. You can look it up. Wait, I think this one was Brother's Best Friend in Hockey Romance. Dark Delights by Mila Cain. So I think this one, our heroine is like off limits, obviously, because of her older brother. Like, he puts his friends to be like, you can't touch her. But then I think her older brother ends up going to a different school to play hockey, like a different college, and then like leaves his little sister at this college with like his friend, and then his friend like hooks up with her. I don't know. But again, I think it's darker. And like I said, that's just what I'm craving. I don't want like sweet right now. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm like, I just want someone who's just like wholesome and a great guy and whatever. And sometimes I want them to be a complete and utter psychopath. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. So that's why I'm putting this one on the list. And because, speaking of like dark, I want mafia, and I'm going to read Painted Scars by Neva El-Taj. So this one I have had on my TBR for years. I've heard great things about this mafia series, and I just have not been like in a huge mafia mood. But then I recently saw someone like posted something about this book, like a clip of a scene from it, and I was like, say less. I'm really excited for that. So I'm putting this one back on the TBR. Is this one an arranged marriage? I don't know. Y'all, I love filming TBR videos because I don't really need to like, I obviously don't know like the ins and outs of these books because I haven't read them yet, but then I feel stupid when I get on here and I'm like, I don't know. So it's a mafia book. I don't know. Read the synopsis yourself. Same with a lot of these that I have on this side too. I don't really know a lot of the synopses. Cold Hearted King by L.M. Dalglish. Wow. That didn't sound right at all. Okay, was this, I think, is this one the boss employee one? I want to say, I think this one might be the boss employee one, where I think our heroine, she like goes out for a night. She ends up hooking up with this guy, I think like a masked guy, which like, oh, say less. And then they have like a great night together, and then they part ways. And then like the next day or like soon after, she goes to give a presentation at this company that she's like trying to sell, or like trying to work for, or like sell their product or merge their product with. And the CEO is the dude that she had this night with, and he's like staring at her from across the table, and they're gonna be like working together. I think so. I think, once again, I don't know. It sounded good. It sounded good. Yeah, there's that one. Corrupted Heart by Jager Cole. What was this one? I quite literally care. What was this one? I really don't know. And I don't have my laptop in here. I only have my phone. So I'm not going to pause to like pull my phone down from the stand and look it up. But It was another, I think, darker one, right? I don't know. Darker. Okay, let's go to one that I do actually know what I'm talking about. Nightfall by Penelope Douglas. So I've been listening to this one on audio. I'm currently like halfway through it. I just know I'm not going to finish it by the time that the end of the month rolls around. So I'm like, I will add it to my June TBR, and then I can feel accomplished when I squiggle out a little box of like, look, you read this. So I've been rereading the Devil's Night series. This is the 4th book in the Devil's Night series. I've been listening to them on audio to do my rereads of them. I have been thoroughly enjoying it. This is one of my all-time favorite series. I've really been loving it. And Nightfall is the book that out of all of them, it's the one that I almost remembered the least about, even though it was the one that I had read the most recently. I read it as soon as it released back in, what was that, 2021, I think, when this came out. And I remember I was obviously very highly anticipating this one. And I remember reading it, and while I loved it, I still gave it 5 stars. I remember being like, I think this might be my least favorite in the series. And I was like really surprised by that. But now as I'm rereading it, I don't think it's my least. I think Corrupt is my least favorite, even though I still love Corrupt. But I don't know, I'm actually really enjoying it this second time around way more. I think because there's like, we don't get a lot of Will and Emery together in the present as much, because there's a lot of things going on and it's a lot of their backstory, but I'm actually really appreciating like the way that it's like woven together. I don't know, I'm just liking it a lot more on the rereads. So anyways, I'm currently rereading that one, and I will finish that one this month. And then also my other current read I put on here, which is kind of cheating, but again, it's like 650 pages and I'm only on page like 100. So I'm like, again, I'm not going to finish it by the end of the month, so I'm going to put it on June so that way I feel productive when I check it off. And that is The Sinner by Chantal Tessier. So I started this one right after God of Fury because again, I was like, I still am craving these like dark heroes, this like kind of messed up, this just like messed up, messy, angsty vibe. Wow. Okay, so people have warned me before. So I have read Sabotage, The Ritual, and Carnage. So I've read 3 of the 5 books out in the Lord series. And people have said that The Sinner, that they genuinely struggled in The Sinner because they were like, it's just like, it's like almost even too far. And that only made me more intrigued. Now that I'm reading it, I am kind of like, okay, I don't quite know how I feel about it yet. Like I said, I'm only 100 pages in. I feel like we don't know anything about the characters really yet, but they're already like hooking up. I don't know. We'll see. I'm trusting the process with it because I always have so much fun with Chantal Tessier's books. Genuinely, her books, whenever I read them, I have a great time. Like they are fun, they're wild, they're plot twisty, they're super spicy. Like I just always have a good time with them. And I will say, I'm not having as much fun with this one right off the bat as I have with the other 3. So I'm gonna keep holding out though, because I want to catch up on the Lord series. I only have this one in the Sacrifice to catch up on. So I will finish it, but I don't know. Lords is like this secret society type world, and Sin is our hero in this one, and I don't even know. I guess it's like literally the first chapter, he kills the heroine's dad, who is also a lord, and like she doesn't realize that it's him, but they like literally, I don't even know. I'll talk about it in my wrap up, but it's a dark college romance with like secret society vibes and like very messed up. We'll see as I get further into it. Okay, sorry if the angle is now different. I had to just kill a spider and I feel like I could have a heart attack. I cannot with spider. Ugh, now I just feel like it's like on me. That I am very much like, I am very independent. I don't need a man. I don't need anyone. I can do anything on my own. That though, oh, that would be delegated out so quick. I can't deal with spiders. I cannot. You know when Hayden covered up his spider tattoo for Carter? That was solely written for me. Okay. Let's see. Okay, the 3 other books that I have on this list, Hunt Me Darling by Mari Rose. So I don't remember what this one is. Once again, it's a dark book, and I think this one also is like, he chases her. I don't really know. Once again, I found it. I added it to my TBR on Goodreads. And then as I was going through for this video, I specifically have been looking for darker romances because that's just what I'm in the mood for. And I added this one on there. And like when I say darker, I mean more like psycho. Like yes, I still want to read The Torment Duet by Dylan Page, but I don't want like dark emotional. I want like dark psycho. I don't know. I think this one's, oh wait, actually this one is the FBI profiler and she's profiling 2 killers, right? And then I think she gets like entangled with them. I think that's the vibes for this one. I'm pretty sure she's a profiler and she ends up getting like messed up with the killers that she's trying to catch. I think that's this one. It sounded great. I'm really excited for it. And then I have two lighter ones because I am still in the mood for like sports romance. So I kind of want like sports or I want like dark. That's kind of my mood right now. And so I want to read Ruled Out by Morgan Page. This is a coach athlete romance. And so again, I have Love You From Afar and Hate You Up Close on my TBRs as well. I put those on my TBR earlier this year. I really want to pick up this one. I think it would be like perfect for summer vibes. So yeah, I want to give this one a go. And I love Coach Athlete. Y'all know how much I love Coach Athlete. So, and especially like a little bit lighter. Okay, like, because I don't think that this like dark mood is going to carry me all the way through the month. So I did want to have like a lighter option, but like still taboo and forbidden at the ready on my TBR. And then the last one I have is The Problem with Players by Brittany C. Cherry. So this one is a new release, and Brittany C. Cherry is an author that I have read Loving Mr. Daniels from, and I loved it. And again, I was like, I want to read more of her backlist. I have a ton of books of hers on my backlist, like the mixtape and The Silent Waters. I think those are like the two that I like remember off the top of my head that I have, but this is her new release, and this one is a second chance romance, I think, right? So our heroine, she is a baseball coach, softball coach. She's a coach. And then her ex ends up getting hired as the assistant coach. And like, I don't think things ended well between them. And then now they're having to like work side by side together. I thought that this sounded really good, and some of my friends have already read it and really loved it. So I want to give this one a go. So again, normally I don't do the cartoon covers, but because I've read other things by Brittany C. Cherry, I at least know that like I like her writing style and stuff. So I'll give it a pass. I'll give it a pass, but I'm looking forward to giving that one a try. So anyways, that is it for my June TBR. We'll see what I actually get into, because like I said, my May went completely off the rails after I read God of Pain, and I was like, I'm not stopping with this, and I didn't stop with the Legacy of Gods. So I'm really looking forward to talking about that on my wrap up. Just prepared for me to be a long-winded bitch talking about those. I have had the best reading month, actually, I think I've had in years this month, because then I also read Shattered Obsession by Tina Spencer. It's been a great reading month. I can't wait to talk about everything that I read. So yeah, that'll be up on Tuesday next week. So anyways, that is it for today's video, and I will see you when I see ya.